this successful, far more successful than anybody had anticipated. Well, there's a modification to this mobile phone that you can transmit kisses by it. And there's no technical incompatibility in this. You have simple sensors which are sensitive to pressure or suction, to temperature, and to humidity maybe. You have both a receiver and a transmitter. So you kiss into the transmitting part of this, and if it's a two-way device, which most occasions I would have thought would be appropriate, you can hold the other device, perhaps with a time delay, to some appropriate part of your body, and the kiss will be transmitted. Now, your imagination will have gone into overdrive, because there's obviously certain problems about this. You have no control whatsoever to which part of the body the recipient is actually going to apply the sexy phone, as this device is called. And nevertheless, I'm quite convinced that if anybody actually introduced this and had it on the market tomorrow, you make an absolute fortune. You may only make a fortune for 6 months or so, but you would make a very considerable amount of money. And I have a feeling, from the conversation I've had, there is at least one mobile phone company which is thinking along these sort of lines. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this has been a very choppy ride through what my thoughts are really about. If I have to be rather more serious and perhaps slightly less optimistic in what I say, I believe that Europe and the West as a whole is in for a relatively hard time. Not that our present crunch is something like that, but I think it's much more likely to be something like that we will have to get used to permanent decrease in our standard of living in terms of the amount of materials, energy, food and so on we consume. We may also have to change our culture in such a way that as the proportion of the population which is old and requires care increases, a much bigger part of community energy will have to go into actually providing care for people. In fact, I would go as far as that I'm actively working on a scheme where if you, in your younger days, between 30 and 60, say, you put care into the community by doing things which are useful to the community, you actually get a credit on your care account, so that which you can draw on when you are older and you are now 75, and you actually require care. So that our culture actually changes. That in the way you buy yourself a pension with money, you also buy yourself the entitlement. It would be an entitlement to care by putting something into the pot, which on some subsequent occasion you hope to be paid back, as it were, in care which is given to you. Now the flag, or the concepts which I've nailed to my flagpole are two words: frugality, which means we require less resources and be equally happy with these, and mutuality, shown by all these joined hands, that we actually have a quite different culture, as a readiness to help one another is very much enhanced as compared to the rather materialist society which we live in at the moment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.